Singapore's chewing gum ban. Singapore's infamous chewing gum ban represents one of the most striking examples of how a seemingly trivial restriction can reflect deeper cultural values and urban planning philosophy. Implemented in 1992, this law emerged from Singapore's vision of becoming a first-world oasis in Southeast Asia. The catalyst for this unique legislation was the disruption of the mass rapid transit (MRT) system by vandals sticking gum on door sensors, causing thousands of dollars in damage and significant service disruptions. However, the ban's significance goes beyond transit problems, symbolizing Singapore's distinctive approach to social engineering and urban management. What makes this law particularly fascinating is its evolution and exceptions. Initially a blanket ban, Singapore modified the law in 2004 as part of its free trade agreement with the United States, allowing therapeutic gums for medical purposes. This adaptation shows how even rigid laws must adjust to international trade realities and practical needs. The enforcement of this law reflects Singapore's broader fine city reputation, a pun on both its cleanliness and its system of monetary penalties. Violators can face fines up to $100,000 and jail time for repeated offenses. Yet the law's success lies in how it has shaped cultural behavior, with younger Singaporeans growing up without considering gum as a normal consumer product. Denmark's baby names LA doll. Denmark's law on personal names stands as a fascinating intersection of cultural preservation, child protection, and government oversight. This law requires parents to choose from an approved list of about 7,000 names or seek special permission, reflecting a unique balance of individual freedom with social responsibility. The law's primary purpose extends beyond bureaucratic control. It aims to protect children from potential social harassment and discrimination due to unusual or inappropriate names, reflecting a broader Scandinavian philosophy of government as a guardian of citizens' well-being. Most intriguingly, the approval process for new names involves considerations of cultural compatibility, spelling conventions, and gender appropriateness. Names must not cause significant inconvenience to the bearer, and surnames cannot be used as first names. This systematic approach reflects Denmark's commitment to cultural identity while allowing for gradual evolution. The law has adapted to modern times, becoming more flexible with immigration and globalization. While some view it as restrictive, others see it as a thoughtful approach to social cohesion in an increasingly diverse society. The list's regular updates reflect changing demographics and cultural trends, making it a living document of Danish social evolution.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love.
Switzerland's PET social requirements. Switzerland's law requiring social animals to have companions represents one of the world's most progressive approaches to animal welfare. This regulation, which mandates that guinea pigs cannot be kept alone, demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of animal psychology and emotional needs. What makes this law particularly remarkable is its practical implementation. Recognizing that guinea pigs have different lifespans, Switzerland has spawned a unique guinea pig rental service. When one guinea pig dies, owners can rent a companion for the surviving pet, preventing the endless cycle of buying new pairs while ensuring no guinea pig lives in solitude. The law extends beyond guinea pigs to other social animals, reflecting Switzerland's broader commitment to animal welfare. This approach acknowledges that animals are sentient beings with complex emotional needs, not mere property. The legislation represents a shift from preventing physical cruelty to ensuring psychological well-being. This regulation has inspired similar laws worldwide and sparked discussions about human responsibilities toward domestic animals. It challenges traditional views of pet ownership and suggests a more nuanced understanding of what constitutes proper animal care in modern society. UK suspicious salmon handling à la dos. The Salmon Act of 1986's peculiar clause about handling salmon in suspicious circumstances has become a symbol of oddly worded legislation, but its underlying purpose reveals serious environmental and economic concerns. This law, while amusing in its phrasing, addresses the serious issue of fish poaching in British waters. The law's seemingly strange wording actually serves a clever legal purpose. By making suspicious handling itself illegal, law enforcement can intervene before proving actual poaching took place. This creates a broader net for catching those involved in illegal fishing operations, from poachers to black market dealers. Most fascinating is how this law reflects the historical importance of salmon in British culture and economy. Salmon poaching has been a significant issue since medieval times, when salmon was a valuable commodity. The modern law continues this centuries-old tradition of protecting this valuable resource, adapting ancient concerns to contemporary legal frameworks. The law's endurance and continued relevance demonstrate how seemingly antiquated regulations can serve modern purposes. While its wording may provoke amusement, it remains an effective tool in combating wildlife crime and protecting sustainable fishing practices. Japan's anti-obesity, LABU. Japan's metabolic law, implemented in 2008, represents one of the world's most direct government interventions into public health. This law, requiring waistline measurements for citizens aged 40 to 74, reflects Japan's innovative approach to preventing lifestyle-related diseases. The law's most striking feature is its corporate enforcement mechanism. Rather than punishing individuals, it holds companies and local governments responsible for their employees' health. Companies face financial penalties if their employees don't meet certain health metrics, creating a unique social pressure system that leverages Japan's corporate culture. What makes this regulation particularly significant is its basis in preventive medicine. The maximum waistline limits, 33.5 inches for men, 35.4 inches for women, were chosen based on data linking waist size to health risks. This represents a shift from treating illness to preventing it, potentially reducing healthcare costs in Japan's aging society. The law's implementation has sparked global discussions about personal freedom versus public health interests, and whether government intervention in personal health matters is justified when healthcare is publicly funded. France's right to disconnect all law. France's revolutionary right to disconnect law, enacted in 2017, stands as a bold response to the digital age's erosion of work-life boundaries. This legislation, requiring companies with over 50 employees to establish hours when staff shouldn't send or answer emails, represents a philosophical shift in how we view modern work culture. The law emerged from a recognition that digital technology, while increasing productivity, has created a form of modern slavery where employees remain tethered to work around the clock. By legally protecting workers' right to disconnect, France acknowledged that constant connectivity can lead to burnout, stress, and reduced productivity. Most significantly, this law challenges the global always-on culture that has become normalized in many industries. It suggests that true productivity comes not from constant availability, but from well-rested, balanced employees. The law has inspired similar discussions and legislation worldwide, particularly in Europe. The regulation's implementation varies by company, from server shutdowns to pop-up reminders, demonstrating how legal frameworks can adapt to different workplace cultures while maintaining their core protective purpose. This flexibility has helped make the law both effective and widely accepted. Australia's Pink Lake Protection. Lake Hilliers Protection Law represents a unique intersection of natural wonder preservation and environmental legislation. This remarkable pink lake, located on Middle Island in Western Australia, is protected by stringent regulations that prevent visitors from removing its distinctive pink water or the microorganisms responsible for its color. What makes this law particularly fascinating is its scientific basis. The lake's pink color comes from specific algae, Dunaliella salina, and bacteria, creating a delicate ecosystem that could be easily disrupted. The law recognizes that this natural phenomenon isn't just a tourist attraction but a complex biological system worthy of preservation. Most significantly, this legislation reflects a growing understanding of how unique natural features contribute to both scientific knowledge and cultural heritage. The heavy fines for violations demonstrate Australia's commitment to protecting its distinctive natural wonders, setting a precedent for similar protections worldwide. The law also balances preservation with research access, allowing controlled scientific study while preventing commercial exploitation. This approach has helped maintain the lake's pristine condition while advancing our understanding of extremophile organisms. Germany's noise restriction times. Germany's strict noise control laws, particularly the Sunday quiet rules, Sonntagsruhe, offer fascinating insights into how a society legally protects its cultural values. These regulations, prohibiting loud activities like lawn mowing and drilling on Sundays, reflect deep-rooted cultural beliefs about rest and community harmony. The law's historical roots trace back to religious traditions of Sunday as a day of rest, but it has evolved into a secular protection of collective peaceful time. What makes these restrictions particularly interesting is their widespread acceptance in a modern, industrialized society, demonstrating how traditional values can successfully coexist with contemporary life. Most remarkably, these noise restrictions have created a unique rhythm to German life, with Sundays becoming notably quieter than other days. This enforced tranquility has been shown to have positive effects on mental health and community bonding, as people spend more time in quiet activities or social gatherings. The strict enforcement of these laws, even in urban areas, shows how seriously Germans take this cultural practice. Violations can result in significant fines, yet the law's success relies more on social acceptance than punishment. Italy's sandcastle restrictions. Italy's regulations on sandcastle building, particularly prevalent in certain coastal regions, might seem whimsical but reveal complex environmental and cultural considerations. These laws, requiring permits for sandcastle construction on some beaches, demonstrate the delicate balance between tourism, environmental protection, and beach management. The restrictions serve multiple purposes beyond mere bureaucratic control. They help preserve the natural beach ecosystem, prevent excessive sand displacement that could affect erosion patterns, and maintain the aesthetic appeal of Italy's famous coastlines. The permit system also allows authorities to monitor and control commercial activities disguised as casual beach recreation. Most interestingly, these regulations reflect Italy's broader approach to cultural heritage preservation. Just as the country strictly protects its historical monuments, these beach laws acknowledge that natural landscapes deserve similar consideration. The heavy fines for violations underscore the seriousness with which Italy approaches environmental protection. The implementation varies by region, with some areas being more strict than others, showing how local conditions and tourism patterns influence environmental regulation enforcement. Canada's Radio Content LODO. The Canadian Content CanCon regulations represent one of the world's most sophisticated attempts to preserve cultural identity through media policy. These rules, requiring radio and television stations to dedicate a specific percentage to Canadian content, demonstrate how legislation can protect national culture in an increasingly globalized media landscape. What makes these regulations particularly fascinating is their detailed point system known as MAPL: music, artist, production, lyrics. Content must meet specific criteria to qualify as Canadian, creating a nuanced approach to cultural protection. This system has effectively nurtured Canadian talent while allowing for international content, creating a balanced media ecosystem. Most significantly, these laws have helped launch the careers of numerous Canadian artists who might otherwise have been overwhelmed by American media dominance. Artists like Celine Dion, Drake, and the tragically hip benefited from this cultural protection early in their careers, demonstrating how regulatory policy can foster artistic development. The evolution of these regulations in the digital age shows how cultural protection laws can adapt to technological changes while maintaining their core purpose of preserving national identity. Bhutan's tobacco ban. Bhutan's comprehensive tobacco ban, implemented in 2004, stands as one of the world's boldest public health initiatives. This small Himalayan kingdom became the first nation to completely prohibit tobacco sales, reflecting a unique blend of health concerns and Buddhist spiritual values. The law's implementation reveals fascinating cultural dynamics. While sales are banned, limited personal imports are allowed with heavy taxation, a pragmatic compromise between ideal and reality. This approach acknowledges the challenges of complete prohibition while maintaining the ban's symbolic and practical significance. Most remarkably, the ban aligns with Bhutan's distinctive development philosophy of gross national happiness, NEN, which prioritizes well-being over economic metrics. The tobacco ban exemplifies how public policy can reflect spiritual and cultural values while addressing modern health concerns. The law's enforcement has faced challenges from smuggling and changing social norms, but its persistence demonstrates how smaller nations can pioneer radical public health approaches. Sweden's light requirement. Sweden's workplace natural light requirement stands as a prime example of how legislation can address both physical and psychological well-being. This law, mandating that all workplaces must provide access to natural light, reflects a sophisticated understanding of environmental psychology and human health. The regulation's significance lies in its recognition of light's crucial role in human biology. In a country where winter darkness can last for months, ensuring access to natural light becomes vital for maintaining circadian rhythms and mental health. The law acknowledges that workplace design directly impacts employee wellness and productivity. Most intriguingly, these requirements have influenced Swedish architecture and urban planning, leading to innovative building designs that maximize natural light exposure. Companies have adapted by creating more open floor plans, larger windows, and creative solutions for bringing daylight into traditionally dark spaces. The law has inspired similar regulations worldwide and contributed to the growing understanding of how environmental factors affect workplace wellness. It represents a holistic approach to worker protection that goes beyond traditional safety concerns